let's just try it. What I want to do is I want you to think in terms of boxes with these. We're just going to put it in a box. So watch how I do this. Let's just throw a box down like this. Kind of like that. And then in this case, because they're going downhill there, let's just have the box go downhill like this, kind of tapers, and then you have a head that sort of tapers like that. And then I would throw down the direction of the legs just with a couple of lines like this. I'll just throw one like that, and then one like that, and then one kind of like this, and then there's one in the back kind of going like that. That ended up being a little long. That's okay. So that's the basic shape I go for. Then the rest is just rounding things off. You know, just round it off, round it off, round, and so on. And so all hoofed animals and lots of other animals, mammals that are down on all fours, they're, if you didn't know this before, let's just look at the hind end, okay? The leg goes like this. You've got, that's the femur bone, so the knee is right there. That's the knee.
Sorry, Rob, could you move your paper down?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right, thanks.
Yeah, so right here would be the knee on it. And you can't really see that too much, but the reason I'm saying this is because back here from the knee to here is the heel. So that's actually the heel right there. And then it comes down, and then you have the hoof down there at the bottom. And so, you know, even if we get down on all fours and kind of scrunch down like that, we have a really long femur bone because we're bipeds mostly. But so that's the construction. So the back leg will do this. It'll kind of come around and then go around like that. You know, this part will go around like that, and then it comes down for this. And if you know that, when you're doing these quick little sketches, you know, you just kind of hook it there a little bit, like that. That's all we'll do, something like that. The other one on the other side goes something like that. And we got this other one in the front. And the front legs actually bend the other direction. They bend like this. This leg over here will bend this way. So the knee bends like ours. So there's the other, I think I'm looking at the front sheep on the, yeah. So you might put a little bend in it right there. And then, so that's mostly what you need to know. You don't need much detail when you're doing these today. And gosh, I could really zoom in on that a lot more too, huh? Let me see. I thought I was zoomed in. Oh. Huh. Okay. I got some sort of conflict here. Let me try this. Go up to here and hit. Huh. All right. Okay, so let's just draw on the shadows now. And all I do for the shadows is, you know, just draw yourself a little line like that. Just letting yourself know that, you know, that's in light and this is in shadow. And then just throw yourself a little tone over there. We'll do that in watercolor. But I just wanted to give you a little practice on these. You know, some of the sheep have a little tail, and I think that kind of helps. So might throw that in there. But something like that would be all you need for this piece. You don't need to put in the ears and the eyes and the nose and get all the shapes right. You might want to put some sort of shadow underneath there like that, though. It really kind of sits it down. So you wouldn't believe it. You don't need very much. It's mostly just getting the generalities right. And this would be more for the foreground ones. As you get way back there, they're just little boxes like this. They're just little boxes that kind of go like that. And however you want to put the legs. And you get that little shadow right, and that's it. That's for the far away ones. So, all right, so just a little funny little tutorial there. And let's see, we've got our sheep. I'm gonna draw myself a something like that. Yeah, I do like the front prominent sheep. Now you can mix this up any way you like. You can put the sheep, like we've got two of them. I should have named them so I could go back and forth. But on one of them, there's some sheep. There's one sheep kind of facing us, which is kind of neat. And then on the other one, there's two that are right beside each other, which I like. So, and yes, was there a question?
Well, no, in terms of how they are titled, I see Unsplash and I see Unsplash number 1.
Oh, okay. We'll just so the one I'm working from right now is the number 1. Okay. And one thing I like about the number 1 is the trees in the background too are really nice. So I really like sort of the orange burst of light coming back through the silhouettes of the foreground trees. So, as I throw that down, I just want to see some of those. On the other one, though, it has some nice looking trees too. So develop yourself a little tree line there. All right. And we have, we just have little boxes, and you can put those boxes any way you want. But just remember, the camera is higher than the sheep are. So the camera that's taking this photo is up above the sheep looking down on them. Which means, see how none of them really bisect this line right here? Even the really far away ones, some of them come pretty close though. So now you don't have to put yours exactly like those either. You can kind of make them up, or you can just copy what you see. A few of those shapes. Some bigger sheep in the foreground. You can just do one sheep, or you can do all 3 sheep up here in the foreground. Whatever you like. Even another one back there. So, all And if you want to, maybe you could have a couple of cut off here on the sides. It's up to you. But the overlapping is good. The overlapping really gives you that sense of depth. I should put another one around here. We'll just keep developing this composition as we go. Good enough. Little shadows and things underneath. Lots of horizontal lines in this. I'm thinking I should have put these sheep up a little higher, but maybe I'll do that on the next one. Okay, and maybe a little bit bigger. Okay. Let's do ourselves a value study. And do I have black? I have blue. I have like a violet. That'll work. All right, let's go for that tree line. And I do like that sort of burst from behind there, so that's kind of nice. So we get these little silhouettes of tree kind of coming over the front. Nice. And then in comparison to the value of the trees, which probably are a little darker than this, especially at the base, the grass is pretty light. So I'm just gonna lightly, maybe a little darker than that, yeah. I'm actually not thinking about the color, just so you know. I'm just the value. I just don't have black right now. It did come out a little dark. Oh, it's actually pretty good. I'll just make these trees in the background a little bit darker in value. Most of the dark too is at the base of the trees. They kind of, as they go up, they get a little bit lighter. I think in terms of that. And then if you look at the shadows on the sheeps themselves, they're a little darker. Yeah, they're maybe the same value as some of this stuff back here. So let's just put that on there. And I know some of my value is going to get lost into this wet background here, but oh well. Just throwing some shadows on there. Get the legs in a little bit darker. There we go. Maybe not that dark. a little bit of a shadow right underneath.
Rob,
Yes.
are they all looking the same direction? It seems like they're all looking to the right.
Yeah,
Or-
that's a good idea. I think they are, but we don't have to make them that way. Just
Oh,
switch
well,
directions.
the other photo, there are some looking the other way. Yeah, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we could certainly switch some. I'm mostly interested in the value right now, but that's a good. Well, maybe when we do the color one, we'll do that. Okay. So these are pretty good values, I think. And let's nothing like a bunch of sheep just sheep in a field. There's a painting. Okay. I know, I had I have a really dynamite picture of these sheep in this field. It's more like the alpine sheep up in Switzerland. I thought it was great, but I don't know. It was a little complicated. I know I've been torturing you guys with all these complicated ones. It was pretty complicated, but it was nice. Didn't know whether I should. It would have been more of a portrait of the sheep. This sheep had horns too and everything, and I don't know. Okay. All right, so again, I'm going to start off with that tree line. We got this one that kind of comes up through there I like. There's even one over here on the side I like, yeah. I like that. I'm mostly going off the number 1. But the number 2 has that really beautiful tree in it too, if you've seen that. It's got that big, I think it's more of a close-up shot. It's got that big one that kind of comes up and around there. That might be. Maybe we'll give that a try. And it's got the other one right here. Give that one a try. Yeah, the one that just unsplashed, not the number 1, but the other one, has some different views that might be interesting to you. So, okay, so this one I liked. I'm going to go ahead and put these sheeps a little bit bigger and more off to this, so they're not dead center. Just more off to the side here. I want the bottom. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll just box in about how big I want it first. And that helps me just to get the size of it. And I can see the whole thing. Okay, that feels about right. All right, so we can hit this and this and this. So on. I did one the other day and it looked like a pig, but I liked it. But I was like, wow, that's a pretty good pig. It's supposed to be a sheep. Oh well. Oink, oink. Okay. I'll get this other one behind it. That's what I'm doing. Another one back there. That's another thing you can do too. You could put them all in little boxes like this about like where you want the feet to be. And maybe I should have had that up a little higher. So when we're actually doing the next one, maybe maybe you'll just have some little boxes like that. And back here, this could be little boxes. A few little overlaps. Really small back here. Maybe over here I'll just have it, maybe I'll have the neck going that way. All right, good enough. Let's go for that color. So we got a kind of a blue, gray, green in the background. I'm just going to use ultramarine blue and cad yellow and a little bit of cad red. Now I want a little bit bluer, so I'm going to add more blue to it, more ultramarine blue. And give that a little test here. Okay. You know what? I think it's smarter to do those little orange accents first. I really like the orange coming through the tree, so I think I'm going to really just take your cad yellow, cad red, get some of that orange back there. And then I'm going to pull this stuff right over the top of those oranges, like right in front of it, so it looks like they're behind and coming through. Now, there's even a hill way in the background. I didn't even see that. You guys have seen me do this little trick before too. I love to do this. Just for a little more dimension way back there. I'm gonna really bluify that. It's kind of a gray. It's very similar to these, so I'm gonna push the blue in it. Just ultramarine blue. I'm just going to use pure ultramarine blue and see how blue that is first. And then if I need to add a little green to it, I will. Let's just see. Yeah, I probably will need to add a little bit of green, but just let that slip through here and there. Gosh, it looks good like that, doesn't it? Wow. I'm just going to leave it blue like that. And then if you want to tag a little bit of green back there, that'll make it nice and feeling far away. And then at the base of these trees, let's hit some dark. I'm just taking that green and adding more blue. Maybe a little bit of anything else dark that's interesting to you. Maybe some violet in there or something. Yeah, there we go. See how most of the dark is at the base? You certainly could bring some up here on the side if you like. All right. I guess I could have put some sky in there too, huh? I'm just gonna take that same ultramarine and gosh, it doesn't take very much of that. Very lightly. There we go. And then I'm taking that green. A lot of the same colors. I'm gonna take that green over the grass here, with a lot of water in it. Yeah, like that. And if you'll notice, there's these little kind of orangey streaks in it. See, I'm painting right over the legs because I know the legs are darker. You just don't paint the green over the highlights on the back of the animals. Which at this point, in this little thing, doesn't matter that much. But okay. So just much lighter. And then I'm going to just take a little bit of that orange and maybe some red and just throw some very light little streaks in there. Very, very faint. So if you take a little pink right over there, which is just red with a lot of water in it, right? A little pink in there and just work that back there, you're fine. There you go. And while we're doing that, I'm going to make a darker version of the same thing and just throw in some shadow underneath the sheep like that. Not really that dark. You don't see shadow under every sheep, but there's some. Oops.
Rob, could you repeat how you got that green? I know
It's
it's
the
red,
same green
yellow,
I
pink.
used. It's the same green I used in the trees. It's just ultramarine blue, cad yellow, and cad red.
Okay, your usual.
Yeah. It's the usual recipe. Because, you could do that in so many different combinations. It would be sometimes like using alizarin crimson, or sometimes like using burnt sienna, depending on how much of the red, yellow, and blue you use. It's so weird. So, it's funny. Okay. And now I'm going to go for the shadow on the sheep, which is a warmer color. Again, I would use red, yellow, and blue. Just use cad red and cad yellow. Give you a nice orange. And maybe ultramarine blue. That came out green, so I'll add more red to it. Now it's kind of brown. And I like that, but I think I'll add a little bit more blue to that just to neutralize. There we go. How's that looking? Oh, not too bad, not too bad. Okay. And kind of wish it was a little grayer than that. So that means it's got too red. If it's got too red, then I need to add more green. Oops, I got too green. Now I had to add more red. It never ends, There we go. Okay. And so by doing this little comp, I know how to do that color now. Just leaving it white on the highlight. I think my value of my grass could be a little darker, and that's fine. I don't think it's worth going over. All right. There's that. Looks like I have something in my chat here. Let's see. Oh. Okay. Now, let's mosey on over to the watercolor paper. I'm going to go a little faster on this, so to give you a little bit more time, like last time. We'll see how it works. We'll test it out.
Can you show the end result of your sketch again quickly?
Which sketch?
The one you just did?
That's all I did. Was it that one?
Yeah, I didn't see the end of it. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Thank you.
Sure. Let's see now. I gotta zoom out. There's my little page. Now there's my. And I decided to tape that down today. Why not? I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more. Let's see where. Should I come down a little bit? I'll shove that over there. That'll give us a lot more space over here for my ugly mug and my my palette. Okay. Now, here we go. Hold on to your seatbelts. Okay, we've got. I'm going to say about that much sky. Something in there. That's nice. We've got that. I like that big tree in the other one. Whoops. Yeah, I like this big tree here. So I'm gonna pull it kind of out of the piece. He's got a little friend. It's funny. I like this one right here. It's in the number 1, the long one there. I like that. You can do whatever you want. So then that was the top of the tree line. I'm going to bring the bottom of the tree line. We'll say is about there. I'm going to do one about like that. And we've got sort of pine tree thing going on here, and another one over there. I just like the bursts of orange, and then the silhouettes in front of them. Those are kind of nice. Maybe something along the side there. And I really like the background too. I like that blue way back there. It's not blue, but I'm going to make it blue. Okay. Okay, so first, I'm throwing some sky. Very light. I see very light clouds in there too. So I'm going to go ahead and paint right over some of those trees. Yeah, just paint right over, because they're just silhouettes on there. And here's a little trick. If you get your sky just a little bit darker, even though we know we have a light sky, you can some of those very faint clouds back there, you can just use your rag and pull those out. Let me see. You can just use your rag and kind of a couple of those. They're very faint. If you like, you could even put some little gray things in there, little shadows in the clouds, but they're very faint. So sometimes I'll just do that just to get a little bit of cloudy sort of action back there. Okay, then I'm gonna go for that blue background. And I think just the straight ultramarine blue was a little much. So I'm gonna add some of that green I used for the trees to this really background little tree line that meets the sky back there. And so I'm gonna use ultramarine blue, you know, cad red and cad yellow. I'm so tempted just to go into this other mixture right here because that's the same thing. So, but no, I'll do it the right way. All right. So that really grayed it. And if I put that in there alone, it's really gray. It's actually, you know, pretty similar to what you're looking at, but now I'm going to go ahead and make that a little bit grayer. I mean, a little bit bluer, excuse me. Just to that mixture, I'm just adding more blue to it just to get the distance out of it. And see how it's, if you notice, I'm getting this really soft edge where it's meeting the sky. I love that, so I'm just going to leave that. If you don't like that, then just wait for it to dry up a little bit, and then you won't get that edge. Like over here, it looks like it's more dry. So if you want that and it's really dry, just wet the edge. I'm going to wet these bottom edges too, just so I don't have hard edges. I'm just using water. But see, I'll do the same thing on the top here, just to get that beautiful look right there. It didn't happen over here because this is really dry already. So I just add a little water like that. See, that's all. Done. That'll give me that background I was looking for. Maybe I even want some there. That dried up right there because I pulled out that cloud and there wasn't any water on there anymore. So you just gotta work with it. And I'm gonna now throw in some orange. Some orange, just cad red, cad yellow. Throw yourself in some orange, maybe a little bit redder than that. You can just vary them as you go. And you can put it in anywhere you like. Maybe I want even more than what I'm seeing up there. And I don't mind if that just does the wet into wet stuff right into there. I'm a sucker for it. I just love the wet into wet. It's so watercolorish. Okay. And then we can put some, these have really hard edges, so I'm gonna dry brush those out a little bit, make it a little more natural. Now when I put my little silhouettes over that, it'll look better, and then I'll clean that up later. Okay, let's come over with some of these green trees. Let me see this other one first. Yeah. Let's just make yourself up a green, red, yellow, blue, ultramarine. And you certainly could use the, what is it? The Prussian blue, if you like too. That makes it really nice green. Oh, got too much red in it. There it is. That's pretty blue. They're not really green trees. Yeah. Let's see. Oops. Yeah. There's some nice little branches that kind of go in there. All kinds of things. I'm just going to dry brush my edges. Just keeping the tip kind of dry and spread out like that a little bit more. Might have to put a little more blue back there. I'm pulling it right over the oranges. I'm going to go over to this one and do a lot of the same. And you can vary this green as you go. Certainly throwing in a little bit of yellow here and there, just so you don't have exactly the same green. My sleeve keeps catching the corner of this and pulling it away. I'm like, hey, wait a second. Maybe I shouldn't wear long sleeves when I'm painting. Okay, just some nice little tree shades. I just use what's up there for just a feeling, and then I'll kind of go off on my own and do my own thing with the trees. Not exactly like what I'm looking at. Okay, and we do have some darker things at the base, so I could wait for that to dry a little bit, but you could use any color you like. Like, for instance, here's some Prussian blue. I could hit that down there. Or I could hit something kind of red. If I take some magenta and add it to the Prussian blue, now I'll get a little bit of a warmer feeling to the dark. So I just vary that. Just keeping it a bit darker at the base. I'm really I want that tip to be perfect. Really, really fine, so I can come up in here and do a little branchation there. I like it right in front. And another one over there. Maybe you just use a little bit of a little scruffage on there. Something else. Nice. Okay. Oh, might be a good idea to just add a little water to the base here. So we don't have too much of a hard edge. It gets that dried up on me a little bit more than I wanted. To kind of soften that edge a little more. And then I'm gonna throw on my shape. I'm gonna draw it. Again, I'm gonna put it in a box about this big. First. And just say, is that big enough? Do I want it bigger or do I want it smaller? I think bigger. So, well, how about maybe if I use that, maybe I'll come to, like this, come that down to there, block it off. I think that's pretty good. Just starting it off with a box like that really helps. And I just keep it really simple like that. Sometimes with the legs too, I'll just do this. And then come into it later and so I have another leg going like that, right? So I'll do something like this. And then maybe later I'll draw back into it and get it a little more perfect. Because I have a lot of sheep to do, that's why. And that's pretty good. That's about all I need. I like a little tail on the end. Give him a little tail. And then got another one back here. And then another one. And so there's no sense in getting all detailed with it. As long as you have the big general shape, it'll do a lot. Okay, now I'm seeing the next one over here. The feet are a little lower than this. So I'm going to put the feet about here and put that one in a box about there. You could just run around and do the whole thing like that. I go, okay, I got another one over here. The feet are just almost like he's standing on top of this one. About there. Instead of finishing each one as you go, just block them all out first. Maybe this one's a little larger. And then some really small ones back here. Now I'm looking up there. Why does it read these darks as being that dark? I wish you could see mine. They're really light. A lot lighter than that. I think this one could be a little larger. All right. But to be that high, maybe these ones are a little larger. And then they just get really small back here, like that. And then occasionally you'll want a little bunch of them. So you have one. You might want to refer to the other one. Maybe I'll take this tree line down a little bit. I don't think it has to be exactly like the picture. kind of in little twos, aren't they? Oh, there's a 4. 4. You just want them overlapping each other here and there. It's funny. You don't even have to be very detailed with these background ones at all. As long as you get a very general shape and some lights and shadows, because you did it right on this one, these just, everybody just accepts that. So it would, you don't have to be as detailed with them as you think. Oh yeah, I was gonna have one going this way, huh? Yeah, you certainly could. We could have this sheep turning this way. Yeah, I think I'll probably end up bringing this down a little bit. Yeah, well, we'll see. Little ones back here, overlapping. Okay. Good enough for that. Right away, you don't have to keep up with me on this because I'm going kind of fast, so you'll have more time to work. And I just used, again, ultramarine blue, cad red, cad yellow. And, it's mostly ultramarine blue and the yellow, cad yellow. And then I gray that a little bit with the red. Could use a big brush for this too. Hey, look, I have one. I'm just going to use this brush just because it's bigger. It acts very much like the others. There's a whole lot of blue. There we go. There's a little bit of that orange I like. There we go. Got a whole lot of paint on there now. Now I can move. It's just a bigger painting. And Working is pretty big, so I should probably use more water. There we go. Just a big giant wet into wet. Huh? Field of color. And I'm just going to throw in some of those orangey things. And yeah, some of the foreground here. And some of the kind of greener things. No, in nature, everything's in the state of, in the state of dying. So that's where you get all those. In spring, you get all those green colors, and fall like this, you're getting the browner colors. That's good. I like the way that looks. I kind of wish, though, this edge right here was a little more soft. So I'm just going to bring some of that color right up into there, like that. Just wetting it. And just softening the edge a little bit. Okay. Now with a darker value, I'm going to come in with the shadows on the sheep. I certainly could do that with this big brush too. And I'm looking sort of, it's like a warm gray. So, red, yellow, and blue will make you a gray. The same red, yellow, and blue we've been using. And then, so what I have here is kind of a cooler gray. Still the red, yellow, and blue. But I want more warmth to it, so it's just more red and yellow. That. I almost don't even need two different kinds of red, yellow, and blue. After a while, you can do a whole lot with just red, yellow, and blue. You don't need, that's too green. I want it redder than that so it stands out. I'm going really red. Let's see how this looks. Huh? I feel pretty good about that. Okay. And I'm just going to leave it. Now what you can do is just kind of dry brush the edge right there on the top. Just spread the bristles out and dry brush it so you get a softer edge there toward the top. And then all this goes into shadow. And this sort of just points out like that. It's still wet in there, so I'm probably gonna have to go over this again, but it's okay. We just have sort of like a rim, they call it rim light, right around the rim edge there. And just like that, I'll let that dry up, and if I need to throw in like a little ear or something like that, just for some definition, that's fine. Oh, I went right over my other guy back here, darn it. But just remember, if you wanted to throw that other sheet back there or something, I could just, I'll do it. I'll throw that in there like that. Hopefully I'll remember. And we'll just come back with a little white and hit a highlight on there. We could have done that on all of these, actually. There's just so many different approaches. So because the light's coming from here, all this is in light now, and the head goes into shadow. And just remember, a lot of the muzzle is lost, and so are the hoofs, lost into grass. So if you keep this edge where it meets the grass a little fuzzy, that's good. And we can also throw a shadow over things too. And all this white here that's around the head, I can come back and just make little corrections around those later. You wouldn't believe how loose you can be with these back here. This big giant brush is giving me some pretty good detail. I guess I could go down to the smaller brush now. It's kind of hard to control that big thing, but at the same time, you get a looser stroke, so. It's all about what you're comfortable with. Just one shadow over the whole thing like that. Just I can come back with a lot of this white and just take some of that background color and just go around it, correct it. And some of these shadows get pretty dark. I'll have to probably go over them again. But I stress not putting too much detail into these ones in the background. And you surely wouldn't want them more detailed than these in the foreground. It's tempting. It's like a sheep chocolate. You want to paint that sheep. I'll never get it right. I can't do a goat either. Oh, wow. I used to paint murals with this lady, you know, and after a while, you know, especially me, you got to start joking and cracking jokes and making animal noises and funny stuff. And, oh, boy, you know, she was a singer. So I don't know if you know many singers, but for some reason, singers are just so good at mocking. They're so good at mocking. So she had every farmyard animal down cold. And she did the best goat I ever heard. The best one. I'm like, wow, you should get a medal. They ought to have goat sound. Why not? Don't they do pigs or something like that? I'm sure they do. They ought to have a goat sounding contest. I know she'd win. Can you tell I was bored? I was a bored child. They say that's the secret to creativity, though. They say that's why we're looking at a generation that might not be all that creative, because they're never bored. They always have that technology around them. They're always doing that. But just remember when there was just nothing to do? Nothing to do. So you go, well, okay, I got my crayons and I got my stuff. Let's get in. And then hours go by and you're not bored. You know, an artist is just going to naturally choose that thing that they do. Some people are going to go, I think I'm going to dance. You know, some people are like, I wouldn't mind cooking something. Mom, can I get in trouble in the kitchen? You know? Who knows? It's just all about creating something. And my daughter asked me, I remember when she asked me once, did you want me to be an artist? I said, no, I just always wanted you to do something you wanted to do. That's all. Because one thing I see completely is that art has no boundaries. So many, as long as you're using that creative part of your brain, you're doing it. Sometimes I think if I weren't an artist, I might have been an inventor, because I really like to invent stuff. Maybe some sort of engineer or something. But most likely a guitar player. Who knows? You know, you make those little choices. One little choice and poof, there goes 35 years. Okay, I'm going to throw down a kind of in a dry brush manner here, just a nice, that's a really hard edge shadow. So I'm going to come back, I think, what do we got here? With a wet brush. Just a wet brush here, and then loosen up those edges. Put down a little bit of, just putting down a little bit of water there too. Just a little bit. Like that. That gives me nice soft edges. Oops. Sometimes I use my fingernail and just throw a little, just to scruff up the grass a little bit. I might come back and hit a little dark in there too. Okay. So you could just hit it like this, really hard edged. And then just come back with the water and loosen up the edge. That looks pretty smart. Yeah, that gives you a lot of control. I'll do that again and again and again, just like this. I will stress though, don't try to do more than one at a time. Like if I painted all the shadows around here, I'd only be able to soften a few of them because you're putting it on really thin and it'll dry fast. These look a little small. I guess they're not all the same size. That's fine. I can do Henry's method here. Just go like this. You got the shadow there, and I've got the water there. Oh, that's good. I likey. Oh, that's so fast. And yeah, some of my shadows could be a little darker. You're pretty dark, especially right underneath the animal. Because not so much light gets under there. And I'm just using some, I have that shadow color and I'm throwing in a little bit of Prussian blue into that. So now I'm putting that down. I'm looking up there, what you're seeing, and that's way darker than what I'm putting down. And again, I'm going to come back with a wet brush and just fade all this stuff. So I'm just going to use just some water. You know. Till you like it. I don't know why this one back here got pretty dark. So I'm keeping this one brush here, it just has water on it. Just hitting some darks in there. I guess while I'm at it, I might as well correct some of these outside edges. Whoops, that got. Whoops. My middle name is Whoops. Now, you see I'm using a little transitionary color right there. So we have the dark shadow, the bright light here, and I'm just putting something in the middle like that right there. Just something. So you want the white, but a little transitionary, like a half tone color right there, right in between the right in between the shadow and the bright little highlight. And there are all these sort of little horizontal lines in there. I think I'm going to throw in those horizontal lines in the field with a very light sort of dry brush. Definitely have those little oranges too, and those little. Take them right off the page. You know, one thing you don't want to do when you're putting a line like this is come up to here and just stop right there. Like that. How about taking that right off the page? We've got a little dead grass way back there. Some fall colors, oranges, reds, whatever you like. I'm gonna throw myself some fall colors back there. Maybe a little more vibrant, because you're gonna be glazing that over an already sort of green gray. Let me just pop that on there. There we go. Yeah. Some of those that got a little hard edged on me, so I'm just gonna take my wet brush and loosen up those edges. You see, I have not put any detail into this piece at all. It doesn't really even require much at all. Pulling that orange right behind them. Like that. And wait for these to dry up a little bit. So, let's see this. So if I wanted to, let's see. Oops. So if you wanted to, you could just take your pencil and draw yourself out a couple of little ears. You can barely even see that. You know, if you want some detail, a little eyeball in there, a little eye socket or something. And go ahead and throw yourself in a few details if you like. But I would say this is the place where you'd want more detail and not so much in the background. So then probably going to need some white on this one. I was going to use some anyway, right? So I'm not- a good old gouache bag. Oops. See. Here's a fun thing. Some fun color here. Got some white. And I just take it right out. I just take it right out of there like that sometimes. Because this doesn't have any color on it. So it's not gonna. So let's just say, for instance, I wanted this ear to stand out a little bit more. I could just come back here like that. And hit that one in there like that. And then what I'll do is I'll come back later and throw a little bit of a color over it. Oh, we've got another one, another ear over there. Maybe something in here. And anything, like for instance, some of these legs are catching a little bit of highlight in them. So how, I could come back here and just hit a little bit of a highlight there along the edges. Get a little stronger on the face if you want it, or I could hit a little bit on the back of these legs. Just come back and correct things. When you do it like that, you'd have to look really hard to even tell that I use white. So you might be wondering, why did I throw that ear right there that's in shadow all in bright light like that? Why not mix up a color or something? Because I would rather glaze the color over it and make it look more like a watercolor. And I think that's probably dry enough right now, so I'm just going to hit it. You don't want to hit it too many times or it'll break it down and it'll just turn into mush. I'll do the same one with this one over here. It's still a little bright, so I'm going to let that dry and then glaze it again. It's really not. I'll see if I can try to do it here. Yeah, it's going to get mushy on me. And then the rest is detail. The rest is just coming back and let's say I wanted to correct this around here. Just to get a better looking highlight. I can also take a little white to some parts and just kind of come around correcting things. And pay attention to where you probably want your best darks to be. That's a little too dark. Get a little bit of value differentiation in there. could even clean up this leg too if I wanted to. Something like that. I see little sticks and things, little grasses. That's all fun. Anything you want to do to any kind of corrections, any sort of dry brushing or whatever. Some of this could just use a little bit of, like that, a little bit of dry brushing. Just throw in little things like that. It's all those horizontal zigzag. They kind of move the eye backwards, back into the piece. I could have brought that tree line down a little bit, but I think we're pretty much done with the demo. I'm going to have you go ahead and finish up. I'm starting to pick on it too much. Just don't want a straight line on there. Just dry brushing that. Okay. All right. I'll be back here in about 10 minutes. And then anyone who wants to start emailing me your stuff in, no problem. Just take a photo. You know how to do it. Anybody who's new, I think we had all this already, but yeah, we just take a photo and email it to me. I think everybody's got my email. There's a few new students, so I just want to let you know. If you have a question about that, just email me over a question or put it in the chat. Either one. Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay. Some people here. All right, we have a couple of people already. Let's see. Just, let's see. I'll just start with this. There we go. Oops. Can't move it. Oh, here we go. Okay. And let's see. All right, thumbnail view. All right, let's do Charlotte. Hey, nice one. You there, Charlotte? Oh, there you are. Okay.
The sheep were falling off the page.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
had to take
Make
white.
them a little flatter on the bottom.
Yeah, I had to take white chalk and swirl it up and around.
Oh, the old white chalk swirl method, huh?
But I was so excited that I left the top part of the sheep white. That was a big thing for me to accomplish.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I mean,
white chalk can work really well for some of these highlights as well.
I know I bought a bunch of it from Dick Blick's when I went to see my sister up in South Pass.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting exercise. I went to Australia a while back, and they're just full. The sheep business is very, very heavy in Australia, and we went to the sheep farms.
You know, I get my wool socks. They always say they're made in merino wool from Australia.
Yeah, well, that's a big deal over there.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Australia when I did this painting, and it was a nice demo. I just didn't want mine to look so perfect.
I kind of think of like Ireland or Scotland or something. Yeah, beautiful. I love it. Yeah, so I
didn't
mean,
want
maybe
to
your shadows, if your shadows on the sheep were a little darker, like the one in the foreground, maybe they'd show up a little bit more. So that could help. But you know, this is a good case where you see that the you have more value in the foreground, more darks and lights, and then so as you progressively get back, you can tell what's going on.
Yeah, I think you can.
That's all that matters.
This is like new. I ordered all this specially made mineral paint. They make it from minerals.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. How do you like it?
Trying it out. It's very strong.
It's really potent. So you have to really water it down, or?
Yeah, well, the background was very. It's very opaque. A lot of it, and it's some of it's chalky because I guess they make it from minerals. It comes from the Netherlands.
Oh.
But I just thought I would try it out, and the green is incredible.
The Neverland. You know, I had a young lady in one of my high school classes, and she said she's from Belgium, and I said, "Oh, my grandpa came from Belgium."
Wow.
And you know, and she said, she says, "Oh, did he speak, or do you speak any Flemish?" And I said, "No, I've never." I go, could you show me what it sounds like? And it's such a pretty language.
I know they have very heavy duty painters and minerals in that area.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
just was experimenting, so I'm going to start coloring those rare maps, and I need to use the mineral paints
Mm,
to do the map work.
yeah. Okay, thank you. I like the mat on there too. That really works.
Well, my girlfriend wanted a picture of it, so I thought I'd stick it in a mat to see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, by the way, if you adjust your mat a little bit to the right, and maybe even play with the tree line, maybe take it down to the left a little bit, you can level out those sheeps a little bit.
I know they're heading out. They're heading.
But at the same time,
west.
it's okay that they feel like they're going downhill, because they certainly could be on a little bit of a hill. So,
I know, but they're not. I don't know. The swirl helped a bit.
yeah. All right. Nice swirl, girl.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay. Francis. Here we go. All right. Those are some very white sheep.
I know.
I go a little darker with the shadows.
Okay.
Your trees look good. I really like the blue. The blue really recedes in the background, especially. Let me get my little tools here. Especially right there. Wow. But all of them feel like you can feel the recede, and it isn't it funny? It's mostly the color that does it.
Mhm.
Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I would just go over these. Let's say with something kind of.
I was afraid to go much darker because everything else in the foreground is so light, but maybe they do need more color.
Just a. You want some pretty good difference between the light and the shadow.
Okay.
So I think that value right there is about as light as I would go. I might even go darker than that.
Okay.
I wouldn't go any. And the way you've done yours, now the nice thing about it is now you have a good plan down there. So
Yeah.
you know when you put your values of shadow on there, you know where to put it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's nicely done. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Marie,
Good morning.
good morning. Yeah, so you have a lot of the contrast in there. A lot of contrast in there, and so they really pop. Very nice.
We drove up to Oregon
Oh yeah.
in the fall, and it was after that demonstration we had that you had the sheep in it before. So we passed fields and fields of sheep, and I kept on looking at them, in terms of the boxes and the sheep. And now it's really fun to see that, because I never knew how to paint those things. I went on for too much detail, I think. And
Weren't those cows?
well, they have sheep, they have cows.
No, I meant that demo I did. Wasn't that cows?
Oh, maybe it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the same idea, I think.
Yeah, it is. It's exactly
It's
the same
shit.
idea.
Yeah, you're right. It was cows.
Oh.
But it's
So-
funny, when I look at a field of animals, I see it differently.
Yeah. I might include a little bit of shadow, because if their muzzle is in the grass, then there would be shadow back here.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
It'll sit it down a little bit more.
Mhm.
Yeah, I occasionally like one of these two, like this right here that's coming at us. I like your arrangement. They're very nice arrangement. I don't know. The painting's looking pretty darn good. Right, and that's exactly what I do. I wait for that. And it could very well even be that the ear is sticking up and catching a little bit of light. But if you want to throw a little glaze over it or something like that, you could.
Okay.
Or maybe over half of it. So anyway. Yeah, that really made it.
I was distressing a bit when I was putting the grass in the first wash because I wasn't moving fast enough and I was getting all sorts of problems. But then, going over it again, I think with the dry brush, and that kind of ironed out that problem a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not fast, it just wasn't fast. And plus I was trying to get around the edges of the animals and
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, well, very nicely done. I like this piece.
Thank you.
But your background's really great too. This is all these colors. You can really feel the 1, 2, 3 walking us back in space, and they're just a few little tones. It doesn't require a whole lot of effort. That's what makes a painting go quick and give you lots of emotion too. Just knowing little things like that. So, okie dokie.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, just one other thing. Remember I put that little halftone in here?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
something
that'd be
right
great.
along that edge, maybe.
Yeah, that would be great. Just the same color but softer.
Yeah, yeah.
Value
Something
down.
like that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. There's Daryl. Hey, Daryl. Let's see. Clear. All right, that pops. Okay. So I might.
They don't look like sheep.
Yeah, they do. These look like sheep. Oh yeah, that looks like sheep. Totally. I mean, I guess you could hang a little bell off around his neck. Yeah, they look like sheep. And I might put a little darker shadow underneath.
Okay.
Really, really sit them down.
We can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have any problem with getting darks. Which is good. I mean, usually that's a problem for watercolor painters.
Yeah, they look better bunched up, I think. Individually, they look kind of odd. They look better grouped. But I notice in the photos, there's a lot of singles. But in the back, I probably should have bunched them up.
Oh, sure.
A bunch of them back there, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe put one behind, or one back here, one over here, or something like that.
Yeah,
Sometimes I like to take one off the page like that. So,
You better just have a big blur, just a big group of them back there, I think. Yeah.
Sure. You could have a little, like even back here, way back here, just have something like a group of them. But one thing I might do is, it's a pretty strong edge between the.
It is, yeah. I came back and put some Prussian blue in there. Probably should have. It was lighter and I darkened it up. That was a mistake, I guess.
Oh no, I would just soften the edge. Just soften the edge, and maybe, I think your color here on the grass could be a little darker. So, maybe if you do that.
Okay, yeah, dark. Yeah, bring up the grass and then kind of blur it out the back there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if you'll notice, around all your sheep, you have this white around the outside. If you'll notice,
Yeah, I can come back with a gouache. I didn't have time to come back with white gouache.
you did?
Yeah, you touched up with some white gouache.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll probably pop it out.
No, but what I mean is, you see how every sheep has like a white glow around them, because. So
Yeah.
what I would do is take a little bit of your background color here, and just paint around some of that, because you're getting like these halos. See this halo right here?
Yeah, I didn't want that white halo. It just,
Yeah.
I started touching up the ground, and then I just,
Yeah.
I should have got closer to the sheep, I guess, because yeah, it does look like there's a halo around all of them.
Yeah, it'll do that. That's a really easy, quick fix. So just take a little bit of halo is okay, but I might just go around them a little bit more like that, and then just fade it back. Yeah, and then take about a value about like this, and put it around here.
Yeah.
You'll see. I think you'll be just fine. Yeah. Nice trees.
That'll help it, yeah.
Yeah, I like
Unless
the
it's
trees.
brighter green in the front. I don't know, should it be brighter green in the front or no?
Yeah, you definitely you could argue. I mean, it's kind of gray anyway, but you could definitely argue that the greens get a little more yellows and oranges up in here. Sure. Yeah, I'd punch some saturation up here. Sure, that'll
We're
work.
gonna work on around the edges around the sheep, give
Yeah.
it more definition.
And then you see here, right? You got the shadow and you got the light. How about something right in between them, like this, like a value? So it goes shadow, and you get a little bit of a value, and then white.
So come in with white gouache or what?
No, just use like this same shadow color, and just put a little bit of value right there,
Oh, okay.
and it'll make it. It won't be such a violent turn from dark to light. You'll have a little middle tone in there.
Oh, well, yeah, okay. Just
Yeah.
okay. So we just want one solid mass there, huh?
Now all I'm looking for is a little bit of color right here. Just a little bit of color right there. That's the right value that I'm putting in there right there.
Yeah.
So it transitions from the shadow to the light. You have a little mid-tone. That's a mid-tone color right there.
Oh, under the sheep then, huh? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, reflection. Okay, reflecting onto the side of the sheep. Okay. I could take some water and kind of take
Yeah,
some.
just a little tone. Leave this white over here, a little bit of tone and then shadow. That gives you a mid-tone and it makes it look round instead of boxy. That's all.
Yeah, give it a little more shape. It's kind of
Yeah.
flat looking. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll go around there.
I could take a paper towel or something, or what, a wet brush? What do you think?
Yeah, just a wet brush. Just a wet brush with a very little bit of color, and just hit a little bit of a tone right on the edge of your shadow.
Just kind of scrub it in. Okay.
Yeah, it's a.
Very good. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you. And there's Ethel. Hi, Ethel. Yeah. Oh, I like the sheep up there. See, this is all I was talking about, Daryl. See this little transitionary color she has? She's got the white, and then she's got this little halftone, and then she goes into shadow. Like here, this right here is perfect. White, halftone, and then shadow.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Some of them look like skunks, so.
I love this. Did you find a picture of a sheep?
I sure did.
Looking right at you. They got personalities too. They'll come up and.
Yeah, I don't think this is quite finished, but I was having trouble with the water and the paint.
Yeah.
But I like the trees in the back. And
Yeah, I like the trees. Well, one thing I would do with the trees here is maybe soften this edge.
Uh-huh.
A little bit of like maybe a transitionary color there, or just a softer edge.
Yeah.
Just so it transitions into the grass a little bit.
And I think
Less
the grass
severe.
in the front needs to also be darker. Right.
Yeah, I could see the grass being a little, especially in the front, and maybe a little more saturated, maybe a little more green.
That was where I was having trouble with the water. I don't know. I had blooms everywhere. It was annoying.
Maybe you're just using too much water.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, thank you for that. I like your sheep.
When I saw sheep, I thought, hey, another opportunity.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be adverse to putting maybe the shadow down below a little bit darker.
Yeah, maybe that's
Yeah.
part of it too. Yeah.
You'll see. I think it's because first finish your grass and then see what the shadows look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do
Okay.
that. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Henry. Oh, I like these groupings. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, this grouping right here is really nice. Really nice.
I just copied the photos. They are great photos.
Yeah.
I like the ring kind of form. But my distant goats are sheep are scattered. Should I group more, maybe?
I think they look just fine.
Okay.
Yeah, if I would look at it for a while and see, you know, maybe you could put one, you know, in the background here or something, But I think they're fine. Yeah, I certainly wouldn't have even known if you didn't say anything. But now that you've said something, I think, no, I'm just joking. No, I think it's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you have a pretty soft edge there. Yeah, this all is done really well. Really well.
That's the fun part. I like.
Yeah. And then did you use a little white up here?
Well, no, not in the trees.
No, I mean up here in the sheet.
I haven't used any gouache, but it's in the pants. Some
Yeah.
some opaque pants has gouache
Yeah.
in it, but I didn't use white. Yeah, the ear just the white paper. I saved it.
Yeah. Nice looking dry brush.
Yeah, it's a rough paper, so it got some texture.
Yeah. The shadows really work. The shadows really sit everything down. Nice piece.
Thank you, Rob.
You're welcome. Nice work. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And we have Diane. Let me get my little marks off your piece. Okay. And well, what do you think? Looking pretty good.
Well, it's not finished, and I know I've got halos around my sheep too.
Little halo action there.
Because I went in with a flat brush, so when I
Yeah.
was going around, going around my sheep boxes in the
Yeah.
beginning, I was going so fast that, I just kind of went around boxes. So then
Yeah.
I had to go back in to add the grass around them, and didn't completely, go back over with the green around it, but this was fun. They I don't know if they look like sheep. They kind of
Yeah. So
I mean, I didn't get a chance to finesse them. They're
Little-
not very finessed.
like this one right here, maybe a longer neck or something.
Yeah.
But the values and everything, the colors are just fine. You can come back and
Yes.
work with the shape with
Mhm,
white and shadow color
Yep.
as much as you like. Yeah, I think this one right here is a pretty good shape over here
Oh,
on the left.
yay.
Yeah,
One
So
out of
longer
20
neck.
sheep.
longer neck.
Yeah, I see. My poor sheep. The one in
I
the
know, it's
front
easy
looks
to
like it's
do.
going to fall over.
Well, if it looks like that, then you probably need a stronger shadow.
Yeah.
But which one looks like it's going to fall over?
The one in the front, because the
Oh.
legs are so long, and then it's got such a short neck.
Yeah, longer neck. Yeah, I would just go with the longer neck. But you could probably just paint right over this.
Yeah. I need to finesse them.
Whoops. Where is my little? Yeah, just pull that right over to there. And a little bit of white. You know what to do.
Yep.
All right. And let's see. Oh, I think everything's fine. I even like this little stroke right here in the background.
Oh.
You know, that is one thing too. And I've said this many times, but if your value is too dark in the background, you can always go over with a nice little wash of white. I don't think yours is too dark, by the way. I'm just saying, if you wanted it, you know, something like that could give you a little more mist or something.
Okay.
And that's just for everybody. Let's see.
But those
Other than
values
that, I think
are
you're doing
okay
really good.
in the back? Oh, okay.
Sometimes I like to come into some of these and finesse them with some darks and some lights,
Yes,
like you did on this. I think when you get back to like this area right here, I think that's too far away to put too much detail in.
Okay, yeah, I definitely need to finesse the ones in the front. So.
And I would consider a darker shadow underneath.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, a little stronger shadow might.
Oh, definitely. I see now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oops. And we've got Toby. Here we go.
Hi, Rob.
Hi. All right, nice
I was a
work.
little distracted this morning with the inauguration. So.
I know, sorry about that.
Oh, no.
I didn't know whether to have class or not, but it looked like everybody wanted to have class.
No.
I don't know how many participants do we have in here, but it looks like we had a good showing anyway, so.
Yeah. So my sheep didn't get enough attention. That's my excuse.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we could probably lengthen out the neck on this one in the foreground.
Uh-huh.
We talked about. And I like the background though. I like the background. I would just leave it.
Oh, great.
Just little details. Maybe throw in a little bit of saturation in your color up in the front. Some yellows and oranges.
Oh, yeah, that'd help. Yeah.
Some of that. Some greens. A little more. Just a little bit more. I like this big wash, this big old wet into wet wash right there. Edge. Bloomy edge.
Yeah.
And then, again, I think you could stand some stronger shadows underneath.
Okay.
Yeah. Think about it. I think that's about it. I mean, you know, it's a nice loose watercolor.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Betsy. You got into the white on the top there. Cool. And I see you threw in that little transitionary value. Right. Whoops.
Here. Yeah, you got way ahead of me, and so I got kind of lost, but.
Well, yeah, I don't know what to do. Maybe I could go back to the other way and go a little slower.
Yeah, I would appreciate that, because, and then I miss it. I'm drawing and I'm at 3 steps behind you, and I'm not hearing what you're saying, and so I'm going, did he do that? And I'm just trying to figure it out by myself. So
yeah,
yes, I would appreciate it.
Maybe a little darker shadow.
Okay.
And you got this, so you got the shadow value right, and then you're getting a little bit of, just with this value right here, you're getting a little bit of that transitionary value.
Yeah.
But I can see you put it in here really, really clearly. Very clear on this sheet. And then, I might put a little bit of color into the shadow.
Okay. What color?
Well, I noticed mine was kind of a warm, like a warmer gray.
Okay. Like
So
a browny gray.
It looks like you might have used black or something close to it. So I would probably warm it up a little bit. Like this one's looking better. I might throw in just with a few little glazes, very, 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 very fast.
Okay.
And
Did
just,
I do any more work to the bodies of those sheep?
I think your shape of looks pretty good.
Okay, so just add shadows to anchor them a little.
Yeah, shadows and then vary your color. In
Okay,
here. Add some warms and some cools if you like.
okay,
Just the black like this, I don't know, leaves me a little dry. I would mind a little more color in that.
okay.
Some good shadows on these. See, they look like they're almost floating until you throw a little shadow underneath there. So really simple.
Okay,
All right. Thank you.
thank you.
Very colorful. Okay. All right, how are we doing there, Carolyn?
I should have studied sheep. I guess
Yeah.
they look like anything but sheep.
Well, if you lengthen the neck a little bit, they'll look a little more sheep, or just, whatever.
Yeah.
Farmyard animals. It's fine with
Well,
me.
I was trying to actually do them such that the head could be stretched, the head could be turned, the head could be, just looking at us. But
Yeah.
I needed to study it. I don't have it.
Just maybe a little longer in the neck, I think. But one thing I like is that you used all these
can't
reds
hear
up in the
you.
foreground, and then things get cooler as it goes further away, and that's actually what does happen. The reds will come forward. So
I cannot hear.
you what?
For some reason, the internet is unstable. I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me? I'm sorry. So I'm just saying that the reds in the foreground here really come forward. That's good. Let's see.
I was trying to create depth
Yeah,
in the whole thing. I don't know if I managed it or not.
that you did. Yeah, the bluer background and the warmer tones in the foreground, and then you have more saturation in the foreground too. That does. Now, one thing that'll help you with the depth is more contrast.
Mm-hmm.
So, come into your shadows. Where is it? There we go. Come into your shadows. Go a little bit darker. And there we go. And then a little more solid dark shadow on the ground too. So that's all we need. Maybe same with a couple of these. You don't have to do it on all of them, but just a few. Just more solid shadows can help.
I think I put too many sheep next to each other, and then I was losing the sheep in the shadows.
Yeah.
I
would so you don't have to render out every one of them. Just here and there, just a couple little dark values here and there. And what that does is these darker values now really come forward.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then make sure you get it nice and dark underneath them like this. Something underneath them as well. That way it really sits them down and also makes it come forward. But even these ones back here, I would get a little bit of shadow under there. Maybe not that dark, but a little bit more shadow underneath there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. And we have Suzanne. All right. Hello, Suzanne. Let's see.
Hi.
Hi. Okay. Nice colors. Nice values. Very sheepish. Maybe the wrong word there, huh? I don't even know where that came from. Okay. Maybe I should keep my mouth shut when I'm giving critiques. Okay. Yeah, plenty of contrast as usual. You don't usually have any problem in that area. I could see a little more saturation in your color in the foreground. Right now, your most saturated colors are back here.
Right.
And that's fine
right.
because they were really saturated back there. So I would just come in with some more saturation up in the foreground.
Okay, yeah,
Yellows, greens, etc.
okay.
And then you see how the black can make your shadows go kind of boring. So what you might want to do is just come back in with a little bit of color in your shadows. Let's see.
Okay.
Like I use something warm, like a burnt sienna or something like that, or just something like a warm brown or something like that into your shadows.
Okay.
And then this edge right here of this, I might soften that. Really, really soften this.
Okay.
And you could do it with water first, and then maybe come back with a little bit of white.
Okay.
If it's too pasty, you can come back with a little bit of glaze, a little bit of color back over that.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, you have no halos at all. See everybody how she took that color right up next to the sheep, like that. No halos at all. Very nice.
Well, I don't know that they look like sheep is the problem.
Well, see, this is what I was talking about. You got this sheep really well. So people have just assumed that the rest are sheep. It's fine. You got a bullfight going right here.
Yeah, I know. That was just a blob, and I kept, I don't know.
Like, I'm so good. I am so good that I can just turn this blob into a sheep. Darn it, it worked on the last one.
Yeah.
I do that too. Okay.
Looks like a wild boar.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of them can look kind of piggy if you get short in the neck.
Yeah.
You get kind of piggish, or short in the legs.
I think I think that's a leg issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. And Alice. Clear that one? All right. Now, what did you had a picture of a structure as well? You're looking for both?
Hold on.
Okay. Now, if you wanted to, you could come back with some white. Let's see what we got here. Oops.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't unmute myself.
Oh.
Yeah, I sent you the picture that I copied from.
Oh, that's what the other picture was? Okay, I see.
Yeah, just so you have it both. But I've been working on it since I sent it to you, and the white sheep, I added more color to it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, give it a little shadow side.
Yeah.
So what you could do is just maybe on the top planes and maybe some of the side plane, a little white. You could use white on there. And that would give you kind of a top to it.
Yeah.
Like maybe on this one, the light would come all the way around here.
Yeah, I should have copied that from your painting because on the picture there it's not as clear.
Oh. Does that picture have? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me see what you're doing. So you're using a completely different. I thought you were just using the picture for the structure. Let's see. Oh, I see. Yeah, they don't have highlights on them.
No.
Oh, those mountain sheep, huh? Those are nice.
This is from New Mexico, from Ghost Ranch.
Yeah. I love those trees. They're kind of You know, they don't have anything on the leaves over here, and then they're really thick right here. It's weird. Really organic.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, they just don't have a lot of definition in them. Like this,
No, they don't.
this guy right here stands out because he's got a light background. This guy right here is hard to see.
Yes.
Sometimes what I'll do is I'll just bring out a few features. So it looks like he's looking right at us, huh? So I might, hit the horns or something like that, or whatever. But yeah, I wouldn't hit the tops. I thought you were using some of our sheep and then throwing the structure in the background. That's what I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've been wanting to paint this for a long time, and when you introduced the sheep, I thought, oh my God, I want to do this.
Yeah. Oh, that's totally
I
fine.
watched you do the demo. Yeah. So that was very helpful.
Now, as you can see, this is a pretty overcast day, and the reason I can see that is there's really no shadows on this building.
Yes.
Just a little bit under the under this awning here. So even on an overcast day, like on this white sheep, you do get something bright on the top, but it's very subdued. Not like the other picture we were looking at.
Right, right.
So that's fine.
And there is no shadow under the animals either, so I
Right.
had to add those.
Exactly, and the reason is because it's an overcast day. You don't have a really hard light on there, so you won't have a really hard shadow. I mean, there's
Right.
a little something under there, but not much. So, okay. Yeah, I see it now. Okay.
Thank
Nice house,
you.
and I really like the way you handle that background too. Really, really just vague and nice colors. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Doing real good. All right, thank you. Mid-school.
Yes. Hi,
Hello.
Rob.
Hi. Nice colors, lots of flow and rhythm to this. And they do look like sheep.
They do. They look like
Yeah.
cows, I thought.
I like how you threw in these little groupings. Very nice. You got this grouping here and this grouping here. That was good. Yeah, that's really nice. And see, this one, I think all by itself, this one would be hard to make out. But since you have this one over here that has a very clear, it makes sense.
Yeah, face is not clear. Its face.
Well, no, because of the angle of it. It's just
Yeah.
that's just the angle you're looking at is just kind of strange. I mean that, but this one right here just defines itself really easily. So, all right. I guess I mean, if anything, maybe a little stronger shadows.
Stronger shadow. Yes, I know you were going to say that, but I just sent it. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit stronger underneath, and maybe a little bit.
Or even on sheep.
Sure. See what that does? Just a little bit.
Oh yeah, looks better.
This one right here, I think, is okay. Maybe this one's probably fine. So, and so now you have a lot of saturation in the background and not so much in the foreground. I would just keep this in the background if you like, and maybe some stronger color up here in the foreground. A couple of
Stronger
Yeah.
green or
yeah, more saturated.
saturated. Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Just glaze it right over. Some
Yeah,
yellows.
it's like there something is missing.
Yeah. So, and then, if you wanted to, and this is only, I would leave this, but if you felt like you wanted more distance, I would throw in a glaze of white over there. White and a little touch of blue in it. All over your background here. And it'll make you feel further away.
I see.
But if you like the way it looks, then don't do it. Don't do it. Maybe something over the bottom too, so it gives us a little more of a less hard edge.
Mm-hmm. I did some white around there, but
Yeah, I see the white.
yeah.
I think it was looking great then. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks. Oh, God. There's Katie.
Okay, I call these dogs. They are not sheep.
I maybe a little stronger shadow
Underneath?
on the actual there, and then maybe a little bit stronger underneath as well.
Okay.
Like this, I would go. Now with this too, I would a little of that, and then maybe come over the top with a little touch of white.
Yeah.
You can always just come back and just a little back there.
Sure. That makes sense.
You know, it's funny. Some of these sheepdogs look just like sheep.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, that's what I was painting sheepdogs, Rob. I was trying to strike a medium there.
That's very nice that you see it my way.
Yeah. Okay, now your darkest dark is way back here.
Yeah.
So I would think that it would probably be more up in this area. So what I might do here is you could just take a wash of just water over there and kind of stamp it. And if that doesn't do it, then maybe take a little bit of white.
Okay.
A little white glaze on top of there.
Okay, so
Yes.
lighten it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know, and like I say, if you like it already, then don't do it. But just for if you want the feeling of distance, then I would lighten that up.
Yeah, that's okay.
I put a little white and I put blue in the white, just a touch, like 1 or 2% blue into the white.
Okay.
So, yeah, usually makes it feel kind of foggy.
And am I using gouache for that, or do
Yeah.
I use a white watercolor?
Well, if you have white watercolor, it'll do it too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, either one. I usually use gouache though.
Okay.
Okay.
Gouache and I don't have a great relationship.
Oh, yeah. There's something called Chinese white, which is it's not so strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. And did I miss anyone? Are some people late? I guess I did a lot of people. Let's see.
Rob, mine's being sent.
Oh, okay. Let me get all this stuff off here.
It's Gina. I was busy watching the inauguration and wasn't that interested in sheep, so I just watched today.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Me too, Rob. It's Judy.
Okay. And sometimes it really takes a long. You already sent it?
Can you put yours on the screen one more time to take a look?
Mine?
Yeah.
Sure. Let me. Oh, I'll just stop sharing. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, I just kept it really basic. Really basic. You know, a lot of mine don't look extremely sheepish either. Sheepish.
I just wanted to take a picture as reference when I do mine.
Okay. So I'm not seeing anyone's. Oh. Why does it take so long to get here? That's weird. Where's my Zoom thing? Let me screen share. I think I saw something happen. So. Uh-oh, what happened? Oh, I did the wrong one. Let me screen share this one. Oh boy. This one. They give me so many choices. Huh. Finally, there it is. Well, that took a long time to get here. Huh. There we go. All right. Nice colors. And you are all about color. I like how you broke the border here a little bit. You always got to be a rebel, don't you?
I wish I had done the big sheep face like Ethel. I thought that was adorable.
Yeah. That's not the first
That was
time
really
she's
cute.
pulled that on us. Okay. Yeah, I might, I like these colors quite a bit. You know, what you can do if you really like these colors, but you're looking to get a little more value in the foreground, what you can do is just slip a little dark, like right in here.
Uh-huh.
And maybe a little bit under here. You know, little
Okay,
places where you might not get too much light.
But see, I thought his belly would have a fair amount of reflected light in there, but
Reflected
I
light,
understand
yeah.
what you're talking about. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I noticed
It does
there was something
separate
like
the belly
right
from
under
the
his
leg.
leg in there was getting kind of dark, so it was a good place to hit it dark. You're right,
Yeah.
the belly probably would get reflected light. But yeah, maybe just a couple of little noogies in there once in a while.
Okay, yeah, good idea.
I can't believe I said noogie. I haven't said noogie in a long time. My daughter has no idea what's coming. Right after this, I'm gonna get all noogie. Okay. Nice looking trees. I really like these trees. Yeah, the way you handle the background is just perfect. Just beautiful. And coming over this and breaking that border was a nice move too. Bringing the horizon down a little bit, I think was a good move. I think I'm gonna do that on mine. Or not really the horizon, but you know, this main line of the field kind of. Good placement on
It looks a lot
that.
better when we darken it, Rob, so that's a good idea.
Yeah.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
What kind of paper is that?
Oh, it's a 130 or 140 pound rough. It's
Oh,
for
wow.
a block. It's like an
Yeah.
arches block.
Okay, so
Yeah,
it's rough.
140
Yeah,
pounds.
like it. Thank you.
All right then.
Do you think the back sheep have enough definition? I was trying to like just make proceed.
It's not. What you could do is just come around them a little bit more with some background and really, kind of
Yeah.
shape it a little bit. Just give it a little bit of pop.
Uh-huh.
This one just gets lost. It's not that it's okay. The drawing of it's okay. It's just some values around it to make it pop a little bit more might help.
Yeah.
And maybe something.
I was just worried that back was getting so dark in value.
Yeah. That's a trade-off. So like I say, you can get kind of sneaky about it once in a while, and instead of darkening the whole background, just sneak yourself in a little bit of a little dark, like right in there, you know, maybe a little bit of something there, a little something there.
That's a neat idea. Thanks a lot, Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I like your little rebel here who jumped off the page. That's great. Okay. And George, you did it. You made it. You there, George? Or you're watching the inauguration?
Doing
problem.
both.
Hey, no problem. No problem.
All right. Can you Yeah, I opened my video.
Okay.
Hi.
Hello. Greetings.
Greetings. Yeah, it's been terrific. Very moving and emotional.
Great.
I got to see some of the beginning before.
Yeah.
It was great.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, nice looking colors. Yeah. I could still. These all have very good contrast. You're really good with contrast. I could see a little more contrast into this one, and a lot more contrast into this one.
Okay.
I think besides that, I think we're doing pretty good. And anytime you have the leg like this, kind of standing out with no shadow behind it, it kind of really sticks out. So I would just throw a little bit of shadow, little shadow of those small moves.
Yeah, bring my shadow up.
Yeah, that's about it. I can see a
right.
little shadow on this side of the face too.
Yeah. It looks like a dog almost.
Well, maybe it's a field of dogs grazing on dog food. They're sheepdogs. Come on. All right.
Rob.
They've learned to eat what sheep eat. No. What?
Yeah. Rob, two things from the inauguration. Look at the poet laureate, a 22-year-old woman.
Yeah.
And also Lady Gaga's singing is true.
Oh, okay. All right. I think that's it.
And Biden's speech is good too.
Oh, okay. I'll check it out.
All right.
All right, everybody.